From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. Prime Minister Mark Carney will meet with his cabinet today for the first time since U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to impose steep new tariffs on Canada. In a letter to Carney last week, Trump said the U.S. will put a 35% tariff on Canadian goods starting August 1st. The White House said that new levy wouldn't apply to goods that are compliant with the Canada-U.S.-Mexico Agreement on Trade. Canada has yet to formally respond to the latest threat. All these new threats have come as Canada and the U.S. are trying to negotiate an updated trade pact. StatsCan is to report inflation figures for June this morning. Some parts of the prairie provinces, the southern half of Ontario, and most of Quebec remain under special air quality statements or warnings this morning due to smoke blowing in from wildfires from the prairies and northern Ontario. Environment Canada advised residents to limit time outdoors. Air quality warnings for areas including Toronto were downgraded to special statements yesterday as conditions somewhat improved. Agricultural producers are doing their best to deal with the haze. Ashley Amateur is with the Manitoba Crop Alliance and says the smoke could reflect and interfere with sunlight.
Crops require sunlight to undergo photosynthesis, so that's negatively going to impact the crop. How much it impacts the crop yield depends on the crop as well as the timing of when we're having those wildfire smoke events.
Still with weather, southern Ontario and Quebec also remain under heat warnings, with daytime highs today expected to reach 32 and around 40 with the humidity. Heat warnings are also in place now for much of all 4 Atlantic provinces. The BC ostrich farmers who lost 15% of their herd in an outbreak of avian flu last winter are taking their fight to the Federal Court of Appeal today in Ottawa to try to save the rest of their birds.
Universal Ostrich Farms is appealing the ruling that backed the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. Back in June, agency officials ordered the 400 birds to be culled after 69 died from a new, highly contagious strain of the avian flu. Well, the farmers contended that their birds are healthy and actually are involved in research into the natural immunity of ostriches. This new variant, however, is a big concern due to the fact that it can spread to wild birds, mammals, and even humans. Rob Westgate, The Canadian Press.
Alberta opposition NDP leader Naheed Nenshi is officially a member of the Alberta legislature. The former Calgary mayor was one of 3 new MLAs sworn in yesterday in Edmonton, and food and drink will be for sale again today for visitors to Toronto's CN Tower. The union, representing 250 hospitality workers at the iconic tourist attraction, voted to ratify a tentative agreement with significant wage improvements that ends a 2-week lockout by their employer. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Toronto Blue Jays sluggers Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Alejandro Kirk will suit up for the American League All-Stars tonight when Major League Baseball holds its Midsummer Classic in Atlanta. Guerrero will start at first base and bat 5th behind leadoff Gleyber Torres. Los Angeles Dodgers two-way star Shohei Ohtani will bat leadoff as the NL's DH. The Big Dumper was crowned the Big Thumper last night in MLB's Home Run Derby. Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners eked his way out of the first round by fractions of an inch over the Athletics' Brent Rooker, but then hit 19 homers in the semis and outdueled Junior Caminero of the Tampa Bay Rays 18-15 in the final to become the first catcher to ever win the event. And in pro women's soccer, the league-leading AFC Toronto visits the last-place Halifax Tides in tonight's lone game on the Northern Super League schedule. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.